And then this morning at 8:10, we'll have Andy Crowner, West Burlington City Council. Hello, caller.
Hey, good morning. This is Andy Crowner.
Well, that worked out pretty nice.
Right on cue.
Yeah. How you doing this morning?
Doing great. Good morning. Enjoyed the weather yesterday. Hoping today's just as nice.
Yeah, this return to summertime has been just wonderful.
I don't know why my ancestors settled in Iowa. I like it a lot of the time of year, but I'm ready for no winter.
Yeah. So what's going on at West Burlington, the nuts and bolts of running our city?
Yeah, we've got a meeting tonight. So West Burlington City Council meeting tonight. I've got quite a few things that we're going to discuss. Obviously, wanted to mention, too, we still have some road construction going on Houston this week, so you might have to take a detour during the day if you're heading out towards the mall or Target or those areas. You might need to go out to Mount Pleasant Street or out closer to the schools.
Listen,
there.
Imagine my surprise. So I saw Joey Daly doing all the concrete patches last week, or in the week before. And then yesterday I'm riding my bike in the dark through there, and I'm like, why is this so smooth? There's a asphalt overlay over the whole thing now.
Yeah, and I think we're still going to go in and do a little work on the sidewalks as well in there. And
I didn't know it was going to get that smooth top. That is so nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. I walked through there yesterday, and there was cars going by, and you could barely even hear the cars on that asphalt.
Yeah, what a deal. I guess I would ask why, and there's a concrete street already, why do we overlay asphalt other than it's awesome? But, I mean, the concrete was in pretty good shape, I thought.
Yeah, I think that road is obviously very highly traveled for West Burlington. That's one of the major roads through there, and it has been quite a while since it was actually done. I can remember it as a kid. I can remember going out there when it was done and playing hockey on the fresh cement. And so it's been quite a while, and so I think that's something we do to kind of preserve those roads and make them last longer.
What a nice upgrade. Because it did have literally 101 concrete patches at this point. Yeah. They're all nicely done, but still you're left with the bumpity, sort of a thing. Anyway, congratulations on that. I approve wholeheartedly.
Yeah, it'll be really nice when it's done here, and those guys are working really quick and doing a good job, so it shouldn't be too long. So then meeting tonight, we're going to approve the loan for the South lift station, the South Sewer lift station. So that's about just under a $1.2 million loan. So that's a big one we've been working on. I'm, not one that typically is in favor of taking many loans, but when you do large projects like that, that is something that, as a city, I think it's actually more beneficial to do that and plan for that loan than it is to hike up your taxes for a couple of years to get the money in advance and put it in there, especially with interest rates.
And you'll never get an argument from me spending money on needed and serious infrastructure like that. I mean, the last thing you want is a sewer lift system not functioning. Well, it's one of the not glamorous things that goes on, but you'll notice it right now if it's not working.
Yeah, and that is something, when you're talking about goals of the city, and these are just things that have to happen. They are infrastructure that makes the entire system work. And when you're talking roads and sewer, that's really what a city needs to be doing and where the money needs to go. So good thing we're doing there. And then a couple other things on the docket tonight. We are going to go ahead and talk about lowering speed limits on agency and gear, which you and I have talked about a few times.
I thought there was going to be a study of some sort or something.
Yeah, and the last discussion we had, which our meeting was 3 weeks ago, was that we were going to contact the Iowa DOT and see if we could have a traffic speed study done. Evidently, they will not do that for internal city streets.
Huh.
So they pushed it back to engineering. Engineering came back and said, hey, that's a $9,000 study. Right now, the recommendation we have from our city manager is to not do the study and just go ahead and lower the speed limits. That is actually against our city code and something that I won't be voting for. I think we need to go ahead and do the study if we're interested. And I'm not even sure we need engineers to come in and do it. I think we could put out we have the systems here in the county that you can put out and track the speed limits. So I think we just do that and see what the data is first.
Well, there's some kind of process. Like I was reading in the Burlington recap today about they're going to change the school signs to extend by 1 hour to 5 p.m. because of the COVID. They're in the schools longer. So, but you can't even change that without 3 meetings of yes votes. There's a lot to these ordinances. You can't just willy-nilly, right?
Yeah, there should be a process, and we have a process in place in city code. Why the recommendation is not to follow that process and just change it, I'm not sure why that is that way, and it shouldn't be. So I don't know what will happen tonight, but I know my recommendation and vote is going to be to study the data first and follow city code.
It's a weird, how do you say, the whole speed limit thing is very strange because there's a sweet spot between too slow and too fast. And in either side of that, I'm told, accidents increase. Like if you have an unnaturally slow thing, you're going to get more accidents, not less. If you have too fast a thing, you'll get more accidents, not less. There's some kind of number in the middle. I mean, it matters. You can't just pick it out of the sky, right?
Yeah, that's the information we have from the Iowa Department of Transportation is that the safe speed limit is actually the one that is most typically traveled upon. So if you take all the data, you use kind of the speed that 85% of the people or more are traveling at that speed, and that is the safe speed. If you bring that down thinking, well, if a lower speed limit is safer, well, actually that's not true because cars and people are going to expect on that road to go faster, and that will actually cause more accidents. Right.
So I'll tell you what Anthony Fauci says. Follow the science. Anyway, whatever that means. And then, part of the reason this came to our attention is because this work that was being done out here on Mount Pleasant Street in these work zones. What's the word on what's happening with that?
Yeah, we are going to consider an ordinance which creates a classification called a work zone inside the city limits of West Burlington. And this is something that's already done on the state level. If you're out on the highway working and a crew's fixing a highway, there are laws and a classification of a work zone. And so we're going to consider an ordinance creating that same classification inside of the city. And what that would mean is we could actually fine people for not obeying any kind of traffic signs, road work ahead, slow down to 20, and they don't observe that. Or if we close a street and they just decide to bust through and around the barriers and keep going, that would be a way we could fine them too. And today we just don't have that inside the city. And so we've had some issues with some motorists going through work zones, driving up through people's yards to get around them, things like that just should not happen. And we want to protect our guys. We pay these city workers to go out and do that job. And so this is one way we can protect them and at least put some consequences behind people's actions, hopefully save some lives and save some injuries.
Yeah, it gets your attention when you're out on the highway and you see that enhanced penalties, work zone, $1,000 minimum, whatever different scare tactics they use. They do work. Even I slow down for that kind of money. So
it's something I wish we didn't have to do, but the nature of the motorists right now and the actions we've seen happen to our city workers is just not acceptable, and we need to do something about it. And it's unfortunate, but this is something that just has to happen now because people aren't keeping safety in mind and they're not slowing down. So we have to do something.
There's no sense in being a nice small town if you're going to have the big city traffic / speed problem. So there's that. Is that all that's going on or anything else tonight?
Yeah, we've got one work session after the meeting tonight, and we're going to review the city code on signs. And we specifically had some businesses asking for kind of the tall flag signs that wave in the wind. Right now, those are against city code in West Burlington. So we're going to look at if we should add those in, and then we're going to review the entire sign code while we do that.
Those are called something. You taught me that last week, but my memory being what it is.
I think they're just called flag signs, I think.
Is that what it is? They stick in the ground and they... You see them everywhere. All right, flag signs. All right. So that's the city portion of today's interview. Now, can I talk to real estate realtor, licensed realtor Andy Crowner from Remax Realty in West Burlington, 107 Broadway?
You got it. He's here.
What's new in the real estate market since last we spoke?
Yeah, I pulled some stats. I try to do that every month or so. And, as we kind of bounced into October here now, I went back and looked through September numbers. And but first, one of the most interesting things we keep talking about, there not being many homes for sale in the area. And I know everybody drives by and you see some signs out in front of houses still. So you think, well, there's still homes, but I thought it'd be interesting to show you how the smaller towns around us really don't have hardly any homes. So in Burlington, there's 169 homes today that are on the market and don't have a current accepted offer. So that's quite a few in Burlington, but
it sounds like quite a few, but it's really not, I think, historically, is it? I don't think so.
Historically, no. Historically, it's down probably 20% right now.
Yeah.
There's usually over 200 homes in Burlington. And but then you start looking at, okay, West Burlington, well, there's only 7 homes. And, Danville, 12, New London, 7, Minneapolis, 6. So a lot of our smaller towns only have just a handful. And then you think, okay, well, how about, Fort Madison and Mount Pleasant? Those are bigger towns, should have a bunch of houses. Well, Fort Madison, there's 33, and Mount Pleasant, there's 29. So when you get down and take a look at our whole kind of Southeast Iowa area, there's really not many homes, even though there's a decent amount in Burlington, but our total homes is really down in the area. So there's not many options. We need a lot more homes on the market today. So if you're thinking of selling, great time.
So as we're talking about single-family homes there, county-wide, are we up, down, like year over year?
Yeah, if you look, comparing September 2020 to September 2019, a couple things to look at. So the amount sold was up 25%. So we went from 36 sold last year to 45 sold this year.
In the month, yeah.
You got it. And you're looking at lower interest rates really driving that. A lot of first-time home buyers coming in and people looking to upgrade and actually upgrading and getting a cheaper payment because of the interest rates. And then, so you've got that problem, more homes being sold and then less homes being listed. So last year in September, 82 homes came on the market. This year, only 57. So you start doing that math and run it out a couple months because it's been running that same way really since probably around April. That's why you start running out of the homes because you're closing more and you're listing less. So
right.
That's
a
really
lot
putting a
less
crunch on our market.
I don't know what that is in percentages, but maybe a third or something. 82 down to 57. Wow.
You got it. Yeah. And then couple that with the 25% increase in sold, and it just really starts to get your inventory down there. So. And then when you look at, this year in dollars wise, that's almost $3 million more sold this year. And it also drives up your average sale. We're up about $35,000 this year compared to last year.
The average sale price is up $35,000?
You got it.
Wow. That's great news for sellers. Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean that your home is worth $35,000 more. When you're talking these numbers and 45 sales and those things, sometimes 1 or 2 homes can really skew that number up a little bit. But for sure, right now, your home is selling for a little bit more because of that increased competition and a lot of buyers and not as many homes.
According to Vanguard appraisals, my home is worth $50,000 more on the tax rolls than it was.
Right.
But anyway, that's another story. This is Andy Crowner.
No problem.
Yeah, Andy Crowner from Remax Real Estate here in West Burlington. His website is andycrowner.com if you'd like to see more and get more information. He's got some free guides you can get on there as well, interesting topics on real estate. So that's our county. Has that affected like all of eastern Iowa, all the way down like to the state line, or how far reaching is this?
Yeah, we're really seeing that across the nation, actually. The amount of homes being sold is way up because of those interest rates, and prices are up because of that competition, and then available homes for sale are down across the country. So it's just the market we're in today, and it's kind of bad here in terms of the ratio of homes to buyers, but when you get into bigger cities right now, I'm seeing a lot of stories of 30 offers being put on a home as soon as it comes on the market. So it's definitely moving fast. If you're looking to buy, there are some gems out there in our area, but we really need some homes to sell. So if you're thinking about it, thinking maybe maybe next spring or something, right now is the time to sell.
So where does RE/MAX? So I see signs for different people here and there and everywhere, and certainly RE/MAX has their share. Where do they stand in the big scheme of realtors around this area?
Stats go up and down every year, and sometimes, the ranking is really close. And some years, like this year, it's just unbelievable how many homes RE/MAX has sold. And so I took all of southeast Iowa, and this is going from Keokuk to Ottumwa, Mount Pleasant, Fairfield, the whole southeast Iowa area.
Right.
And your West Burlington RE/MAX office has sold $13 million more this year than the next second place person, and $20 million more than third place.
Yikes. That's a good year right there.
Just in 2020. So we're really out there selling a lot of homes. And if you look at just the quantity, we've sold 14% more homes than anybody else this year. But that's second place. And if you look at the third place, we've sold 46% more than them. So we're really up and above the market here in southeast Iowa, doing a lot of business, have a lot of great realtors over there, and a great crew to work with.
That's a testament. This is one of these things where customers have choices, and when they make them, you should pay attention to them. I don't know if there's a Yelp for real estate companies, but if there were, it sounds like RE/MAX would be way up there, West Burlington.
Yeah, I've been blessed to work with some great people, and obviously my mom is one of the owners, Sheila Crowner, and I got to grow up in a great real estate family with not only her doing real estate full time, but also my dad doing some real estate auctions. So I got to see a lot of the market growing up and kind of hear the stories every week. And now it's been pretty fun being out doing it and learning all the ins and outs. And so far, pretty enjoyable job. I love having my clients move into their new home. It's a really great experience.
All right, before you go, tell me about one house I don't know about.
You know what? I do want to tell you about a piece of land that we just had come up. Put back on my councilman house hat for just a second.
Okay.
A lot right behind West Burlington Christian Church has come for sale, owned by the church. I think it had their garden on it before, so it's listed somewhere around $35,600, something like that. Be a great lot to build a nice West Burlington home. We don't get many lots for sale inside kind of the proper West Burlington. So
when you say behind the church, do you mean to the south?
It's to the northwest of the church.
I got you. Okay, all right. And that street is what?
That's on Vernon.
Vernon, okay. So how big a lot is it? A city-sized lot?
It is. I would say it's not full. A lot of the new construction that you see are built on kind of extra double lots. This is more of a single lot.
Okay.
So it's nice for a, not a giant house, but a nice home could fit right there.
And then from there, you're pretty much in the heart of everything here in West Burlington. So that's good. AndyCrowner.com is the contact, or on Facebook at what? Andy Crowner? Andy Crowner.
Yeah, type in Andy Crowner, you'll find me, and I've got personal pages and real estate pages and all those things. But
Super.
Just reach out, go to AndyCrowner.com, my phone number and everything's there, and each of those guys set up and looking at homes.
Awesome. Thanks, Andy. Have a great day. Appreciate you checking in.
Thanks. You too.
All
Bye-bye.
right.